ChadArmesTV. We're back with another interview from the interview series that we do, man. And this is another one that we've had in the works for a while. We're finally getting the time to do it. And this is the homie Mic Manik. What up, dog?
Living day to day. Too
Heck yeah.
blessed to be too stressed.
Heck yeah, man. And he's this is another one of these interviews that we're doing here in Nashville when everybody's here for the collaboration project that Adam and Demon Broadneck's put on. And we're just gonna let Mike talk to us, man, and tell him a little bit about his story and his music and all that good stuff, man. So we'll just start from the beginning, bro. So where are you born and raised at, dog?
Man, I was born in Oklahoma. My daddy was a pipeline gypsy, but I was raised in Texas. We, as soon as daddy got off the job, we went back to Texas. So I pretty much hail from Texas. Mom and daddy split up. I spent some time in Montana and just tromped around the mountains hunting and fishing for a long time up there from like probably like sixth grade until my junior year. I played football, was scouted, was all state 3 years in a row. Hell of a football player, in my opinion. You know, I'm Al Bundy or whatever. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Al Bundy, dude.
You know.
What position?
Middle linebacker and fullback.
Oh my God, bro! You middle linebacker?
Yeah, I run like a 4.8 40 at 285.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I can't imagine because. So I was a center in high school. I would have hated to block you, dude.
I was a Mack truck, bro.
Yeah.
And it's crazy you said that, bro, because there's a helmet in the case in the high school that I was at up there.
Yeah.
That I broke the face mask, the welded part on a center.
Yeah.
Me and a center just tried to, I was on a blitz.
He tried to go to the next level. He'd pick up the blitz. Yeah.
Bro, it was horrible. We
Yeah.
both got concussions.
Yeah.
It was back. We might as well had the leather helmets. They wasn't near the protection. I was a big football head, but I was also a big football head. Yeah, we already got that.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big music head. I was in church choir from the time I was a little fella all the way up until probably 92, 93, I think is when I really stopped. I come from a family where pretty rough background, bro. So
Yeah.
church was my escape. I would parents would be fighting or whatever, and there was always a church pretty close. And even through the issues, the broken home issues,
Yep.
Dad and Mom wouldn't have a problem with us being at the church. And I loved to sing. My mom was always playing all kinds of. My mama was a hippie. Daddy was a Vietnam vet and ran with Hell's Angels.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to get into a lot of details about that. It was a rough childhood, but I always found sanctum in the church and singing and loving singing. And we were in the city so much, when I moved back to Texas from Montana, and I was going back and forth. I'd live in Montana for a year and get pissed off, and Mom would try to ground me. So I'd go to Dad's in Texas,
Right.
and then plus the women in Texas. Hank wrote about them for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. California girls are cool, but I'll always say Texas. Tennessee got a few of them too, though. I've noticed. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I moved to Texas, and the music followed me there. I came up basically like the northeast part of Texas that's close to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the time, if you know anything about rap, Houston rap was just in UGK had came out, and I'd loved rap. I loved Bone. I was always into like as soon as Bone dropped, I was hooked, bro, because it was like singing and rapping, and it was just so dope. And how everything happened with rap and Easy and them and all that stuff. So it intrigued me, and when I found out that it was a group, I loved Ice Cube solo. I loved NWA better. I loved I've always been a fan of groups more than solo rappers. I mean, there's been a lot of dope solo rappers, right? And even Eminem's a good case. I love his music, but some of that D12 stuff was just so like out there and artistic that you can't help, even though it was drugs and this and that, it was just so many, styles and all these things. So Texas was the mecca for the Houston sound. I freestyle like I come from Houston. When I freestyle, it's man, hold up, I done came down, candy paint dripping. What you know that now? You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we do out there. You know. And I fell in love with rapping and stuff, man. I clicked up with a whole bunch of people that were like-minded. And somewhere, I think, when was the whole Car Full of White Boys experience, bro? I think
so 2000 or 2001 was
okay. I think that's pretty much when I started messing with Nashville music. We had reached out to, I believe, Sunny Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Fly. Who else was in there? There was somebody else. Who all was Street Flavor and Black Fly? Sunny Paradise.
Black Fly was later. Black Fly was about 10 years after Car Full of White Boys, but it was just Street Flavor.
Okay.
Around the 01.
Okay.
Black Fly didn't come into like
so we reached out. We had a stack and a jelly feature out in Texas, and it did pretty good. Man, I knew Jelly and Haystack. They, you know, the whole CWB movement was way bigger than anybody realizes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even when I was going back and forth to Montana later on, once I got linked up with the whole CWB movement, I give the props to Nashville that it deserves. It's not country music city anymore. It's music city.
Right.
There's a lot of really talented rappers out here. But long story short, man, I started messing with Haystack. Everybody back then was bumping that, you know, Saeed, you know, everybody loved that. I had a Yukon, had some bump in it, you know, and I think that's when it really, I wrote my first rhyme when The Chronic came out, bro, the first one. It's how long I've been rapping, bro. I'm giving my age away. I've been rapping since 1992.
Yeah, I was gonna say 92 was Chronic. Yep.
And it went through so many different progressions, bro. You know how it is. It's like trying to find myself. And just a little fun fact: the place where I grew up in Paris, Texas, is between Dallas and Texarkana, and per capita is the 9th most dangerous place in the United States.
Oh wow.
It's
pretty rough.
It's really weird though, bro, because it's so country, but it's also all those elements of drugs and hookers and all that ugliness is just runs rampant because there's a definite class line. You know, there's like one side of the tracks is like this group, and then over there is like poor white folks and poor black folks and poor Mexicans, and I stayed on that side. But I was also, it's country, so we were hunting deer, we were doing, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of a small enough town that I still got to enjoy a lot of the country boy stuff. But I always knew that, you know, the rap was going to be a thing for me. And man, I made a country rap song that we didn't even realize that it was country rap. We took a sample from somebody, bro, and it was just real country and Cool Edit Pro.
That's what I still use. Audition now, but that's
cool,
what I've always
Cool Edit
used.
Pro, bro. Yeah. And you know, we made a little loop and we freestyled over it, and we recorded on a what was it, the double tape deck karaoke machine.
Oh wow.
We were making little cassette tapes, and we'd all of our homeboys, and we'd, you know, take them down to Dallas, or for a while Michael Watts had like a sub station for Swishahouse in Dallas. So where everybody in Texas, when Swishahouse really got popping, everybody was just submitting. We were all just like, you know, Chameleonaire was just killing it. Paul was killing it. Mike Jones, you know, all that whole thing. I was
mid 2000s.
Yeah, I was part of all of that. You can go back and catch footage of me being at Stop Six and things of that nature. You know, I've been around the music a long time, and I was always kind of like all my black homies would just tell me, it's like, man, it don't make no sense the way your country ass can rap on these beats. It just don't make no sense, and it's an anomaly. And I remember David Ray said the same thing when I first met D-Ray. The same thing about Jelly Roll. Jelly Rolls, everybody wants to know, number one, Jelly's voice, obviously. But it's uncommon for guys of our size to be the cool one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be able to do the things that he does. And I'm a Jelly rap fan and a Jelly country fan. I've been, there's a flyer from like the year 2010 maybe or somewhere around there where Jelly Roll's headlining in my hometown of Texas. That's how much I mess with y'all.
Yeah.
And I know we cross paths more than once.
Yeah.
And shout out to and
Fix
just
your
so
face,
everybody
baby.
knows, this right here is a saying that me and Chatty got in common.
Yeah.
Chatty has a line, and I'll co-sign his line. We just need to trade a couple of Fix Your Face shirts, bro.
Yeah.
And we wear each other's just so everybody knows it's love, because
Yeah.
he got the same. It's the same reason, and it's crazy. It's a small world, and it's been a really crazy journey, man. I didn't really come out here until John Connor came on the scene, and a lot of people will leave him out of what he did, and I'm not going to. I want everybody to know the truth, bro. And John Connor dropped some beats on Haystack stuff that was nasty. Back in the day, he was producing for Jelly, and he was producing for a bunch of people, right? For Street Flavor. And that's how we found out who he was, is because Stack said, damn, this beat's a fucking shit, John Connor. So we all went and started digging and trying to find out who John Connor was. That's how we got the Jelly Roll feature. That's how we got the Stack feature. That's how we did all these things. And they had relative success, but it was just like how it was here. Bubba was really the only one that just like went full commercial. We still was doing shows. We was still doing all that stuff, but it never really just popped for me until David Ray and John Connor formed Damn It Boy. And it was me and Tin Man. Till the Wheels Fell Off, Tin Man's album. Shout out to Tin Man.
Shout out to
Dude is one of my closest friends in this business game. And it just does my heart good to see him messing with y'all. I've told you this.
Yeah.
So shout out 10. But we were at Damn It Boy, and I'm still cool with everybody. The Damn It Boy was just, the whole thing was just such a wonderful experience that you'll never hear me tell anything other than I never felt more welcomed. I learned to hone my skills. I was double timing because I was a huge Tech Nine fan, and David Ray would bust my balls and John would bust my balls until I would get it right. They wouldn't let me go in there and get sloppy and all mushy. They're like, no, if you're going to double time, you're going to do it right. So I attribute a lot of me sharpening my skills to David Ray and John Connor both. The connection and the love for Nashville. I used to tell people Nashville was Emerald City for a lot of us people, because of the music that was coming out of here. And we just knew that there was these, phenomenal artists that were coming out of here. And Nashville was just, I remember leaving the first time to go to record and Jelly Roll being there and 10 was there. And I think Lex was floating around somewhere. Oh my God, it's a Curly White Boys.
Yeah.
Shout out Lex, man. There was just it was just a really crazy feeling because I was the dude from Texas, you hear a few, we've talked about this. You were with the Toe Down conversation, right? About there's this huge debate on who was like the biggest catalyst in country rap, if you will, or who started it or whatever. Obviously, you could say Cowboy Troy. You could argue Johnny Cash. I mean, it's a reach, whatever.
Yeah.
But Toe Down.
Country rap tunes, yeah.
Yeah,
was about
blowing up.
Yeah.
So I messed with him tough. We
people forget to mention that song when it comes to like country rap. And going back to Bone Thugs, bro, because that's what got me into rap as well.
Oh my God,
Ghetto Cowboy.
Ghetto Cowboy, bro.
Bone Thugs,
Yeah.
bro,
So
98.
I
Or something like
mean,
that.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So I mean, people can say this or that, bro. When I think of who was the first rapper from the country, not country rap,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's like country rap, country rap. No, that's not what this is, you guys. There is country rap,
Yeah.
and I do country rap, but I'm a rapper from the country because I'm not, as much as I'm like, bro, I hunt, I fish, I do, like, I promise you I can, like, mechanic, I work on tractors, I weld, I do all of every single redneck thing you can think of, because just as a man in Texas, if you don't know them things, you get clowned on, man.
Yeah.
Like that, it's like Tennessee, it's a real man state. You ain't gonna, that stuff sitting around and letting your grass get long, and no, you're gonna be out there with a push mower. If you can't afford it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just man stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, I don't want to bounce all over the place. I think where I was really going with that is that I just the things that I did in the music business, as far as in like 2016, I went on tour to Canada, all over the U.S. Damn it, boy, screaming "Damn it, boy" everywhere I went. Played with a 4-piece band and dropped the Redneck remix. It had, I mean, you can go check it out. It's at 10.5 million. It's still moving today.
I'll show a screenshot of the video.
Yeah, it had so many talented artist, and up into that point there'd been Double Wide, I think, with Bottleneck and Moccasin Creek, and some other, that the true, like, what we're calling country rap, what I consider country rap.
Right. Yeah.
Hip hop is just a horrible word for it, but if that's what they want to call it, that whatever. It is. It's dudes from the country rapping on country style beats with rap drums. Or
Facts.
you know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's just different instrumentation on hip hop beats, or rap beats. John pulled me into the studio, and there was a whole bunch of people on that video, and he's going to show it, so I'm not going to get into all that. But I got to give props where props were due.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came onto the scene, 10 was killing it, bro. 10, we just got a feature from Struggle that was super fire. And I came in, and John's like, "Hey, this introduced me to David Ray," and David Ray automatically was already trying to sell me the double yolk eggs. Do you know the double yolk eggs? Okay. Yeah, shout out David Ray for the double yolk farms. It's the whole thing. Anyway, David used to cut up a lot, man, and have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The studio was always a laugh. We always had so much fun. But we played this track, man, and it was literally the like my least favorite of the project. But John was like, "No, this is the one. I'm telling you, this is the one. It won't get out of my head. Let's let David hear it." They heard Redneck, bro, and it was game over. They went ham for me, bro. They recruited all those people on that song. They reached out to everybody that they knew and were like, "Hey, man, this guy from Texas, he's the only one in Texas. Let's get him in here. He's part of, what we're doing." And man, the rest was history. It got crazy. Like I said, I was one of the few. I don't know how many there are as far as country rappers that have toured internationally. Man, we went up into Canada, and that was an absolute. Canadians know how to party.
I've heard, yeah.
As soon as the snow melts, they know how to party. Shout out Al Benisaki.
Right.
You see this interview. Moccasin Creek. Shout out Jeff McCool.
Shout out Jeff, man.
Yeah, Jeff was actually the one that made that Canadian show happen. Redneck Remix was just going nuts. That's probably the first time you heard me when that record dropped, I think. Somewhere right around in there. And I did the Eye for an Eye stuff.
Was that before Tin Man's album?
Same time.
Okay, so
I think we dropped within like 3 months of each other.
Yeah, it was either that song or you being on Tin Man's album.
And that Eye for an Eye mixtapes.
Yeah.
I'm Not the Only One, I think, and what what's the other one? Well, there was 2 bangers on that Eye for an Eye mixtape, bro. That was just so slept on.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. You know, it was a crazy time. I never felt more welcomed. I would not be where I'm at without David Ray and John Connor, and I need that to be known in this interview. The time I spent with David Ray at Damn It Boy and John Connor at Damn It Boy was some of the best times of my life. I finally, that point when you finally feel like validated and like people are jamming your music. You go to a concert and you got 50 people singing your lyrics. Next week you got 100. You hit a place and there's 1,000 people that are all like, redneck, want some, get some, and it's a fun song. And we did the remix. So he reached out to everybody. D Thrash, shout out D Thrash, Georgia boys, shout out D Thrash, another pioneer. And everybody can say what they want to, but that's one of the most solid dudes. And of course, Demon jumped on, Bottleneck jumped on, Boondock Kings jumped on, and Big Chuck. At the time, the remix was big, so I was trying to get. We were touring around at the time. There was like 4 of us. They were going to call us the Horsemen. It was like me, Chuck, Poe, and Appalachian Dawn. They were trying to sell it as the 4 Horsemen, right? Which I'm cool with. I was down. Like I just wanted to be Sid Vicious. Whatever.
Shout out R.I.P. Sid Vicious.
Yeah. Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson.
Yep.
Nah, it didn't matter. We were going to do this whole 4 Horsemen thing, and unfortunately, in the music business, sometimes people just have disagreements and go separate ways. It's just what it is. Chapters gets closed and they don't get reopened, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I took Chuck to Canada with me. We went up there and absolutely to this day. There's been 2 concerts that were bigger that were like crazy for me, but that time that me and Chuck went to Canada and we took O-Rig. Shout out O-Rig. Shout out O-Riggy. My guy. We took O-Rig up there and a local guitar player and a bass player, and man, we just went up there and killed it. We went 2 years in a row, and man, it was an amazing experience. And plus, I got to put that little international touring artist. Yeah. Canada's really hard to get into. Just for you guys that are felons, it's not even worth trying.
Right.
We that's part of the reason that the other 4 Horsemen didn't get to go.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It didn't matter. And even Kareem, so shout out Reem, Struggles drummer, Kareem Thompson, best drummer in the business. I'll argue that with anybody. He went with us the second time to Canada because my drummer was going through whatever, and D-Ray was like, I got a guy. All right, it's our guy. Okay. So Reem gets to the border the second time, and bro, he didn't even have a felony. Dude did a tour in Africa. Reem. You know Kareem, right?
Yeah.
So Reem's been drumming for these huge artists, and he ends up with Struggle Jennings. But anyway, he ends up and he has he got in a fight or something.
Something small.
Yeah. So they won't let him come into the country with us.
Yeah, that's wild.
So we're all over here like, oh my God, we got all these drums, we got everything with us, and O-Rig's like, I got this. Let's just give him the other rental car. We'll all load up in the truck. And we'll squish up 6 deep in this dually, and we'll mob the 8 hours on into Canada because it was way up in there. And bro, we literally, Reem had to chill out in Fargo, North Dakota. I think that sounds right. In hotel it, and we were just like face or messenger calling something back then, and just like tore my heart out because man, me and Reem rehearsed our asses off, and he added the drum solo and had all this, really cool stuff. And yeah, man, we did the show, turned right back around and drove 8 hours back, and picked him up, and they ran into a lawnmower that D-Ray had rented the car. They wrecked into a lawnmower in the middle of the night somewhere in Kansas on the way Oh, it's horrible, 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 horrible. But when you're starting out in this stuff, I didn't, we didn't know no better. We were, it was a free for all, man.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're going to Canada to play a show. You ready? You ready? You ready? Let's go.
Yeah.
And D Ray's like, no, wait a minute. D Ray's a thinker.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a minute. Now we gotta think about this. And so D Ray helped us, get the rental car, the van, or whatever it was, and make sure O-Rig had all of his stuff, because O-Rig wasn't about to drive all the way to Texas when he could leave Tennessee, I leave Texas, and we, you know what I'm saying, meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, they wrecked that Jeep. It was a bad deal. Random lawnmower in the middle of the road at night. But yeah, man, did a lot of stuff. Damn it, boy, really helped me out a lot, man. And I was doing really well. I had an international tour booked. I was going to do 2 dates in Australia, New Zealand, and then do a couple of dates in the UK. I was like going to legit do a whole, because I never had any felonies. I had the capacity, I had the band, I had everything, and everybody was pushing to try and, do what they're trying to do here, trying to elevate the genre. And it was like a team thing. Everybody was reaching out to all these cool, these cool venues and stuff. So, but this is where we get to the part I wanted to talk to you about. And what I really want to, a lot of people need to understand where I went. So I took a huge hiatus in January of 19. My 16-year-old son took his own life. And it is something I'll live with for the rest of my life. There's no getting over it. There's just learning to deal with it. But I found myself in the bottle and lost myself for a while, and just I didn't care,
Yeah.
like the music, just like everything I was doing, it was to make him proud, my daughter's proud, my wife, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I love the fans, but I'm a family man. I want my wife, when I go home, my wife to be like, "Did you go over and kill it?" That's what I want.
Yeah.
Same with my son. My son was a rap fan, so he's like, Dad, they banned Redneck up at the school. They were jamming up there at the high school, and they banned all my music because it was moonshine, and whatever. But losing him really just shut me down.
Well, rightfully so, man. I mean,
it was a crazy, like, but yeah, I without my faith, I never would have made it through. Without David Ray, and I'm so thankful to him, because through it all, David Ray, there was just a couple of times that he knew I was on the edge, and he's the one that threw me the rope, bro.
Yeah.
We come down here, and I made a really good song called Scars that I never published, never distributed. I just did the video. O-Rig shot it at the Hit Pit. D-Ray and Hef did all the mixing and mastering and the work on it, and help me heal, to whatever capacity. And I was better, but I was still battling, bro. It was still, a song would come on and I'd just lose it, and then I'd drop off social media. I'd drop off the face of the earth for a month.
Yeah.
And then I'd come back, and then I'd drop off, and I'd come back, and I went back to work on the pipeline, which I hated, because I worked so hard on the pipeline to get off the pipeline, to fund coming to Nashville, coming, shooting videos, and, doing all these things. And I got back on the pipeline for a couple of years, and I remember one of the biggest things that I always was really adamant with my son about. It didn't matter whether it was football, science, acting, music, badminton, it doesn't matter, whatever he chose in life. The only time you truly lose is when you quit. there's no such thing as losing until you quit.
Yeah.
And any of you upcoming young musicians, if I could give you one piece of advice, is that it's on you. Don't expect people to just like lift, you know what I mean? Like go out. Like people got lives, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People got lives and your team's always there for you, but like, hey man, my mom's in the hospital. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna make it there, you know?
Yeah.
It's you stand on your 2 feet, you depend on your team, and you're there for them when you can, and they're there for you. And you never really lose unless you stop trying. As long as you're trying and moving forward, even if it's just an inch at a time, it's progress.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this journey's all about, man. Like I pretty much self-detonated my career. I went from, knocking down really serious money, doing shows for big money and just turning them down. I committed to 2 before he passed away, and I finished those. And then I was just like, nope, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But a buddy of mine called me, and he had a video of my son and his son, and they're in a side by side, and they got redneck turned up, bro, to where just the speakers are, it sound like a TV when the signal used to go off back in the day, just screeching and hollering. And my son's over there just bobbing his head, and every word, man, just every word. And I remember something that I told him right before it happened, because I was going back to pipelining for a while, because it was just really good money, and it was like 10 minutes from my house, and they were cool with me leaving for music. And he said, well, Dad, how far are you really, what are you going to do with this music? How far are you going to take it? And I said, I ain't going to stop until I hit the radio.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I know my job's done. And I did it with Dax. I just featured on a God's Eyes remix with Dax. Shout out Dax.
Mm-hmm.
And that song hit the radio. So it's not my song yet, though. So I'm still.
There's an asterisk by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you up and comers and anybody that sees this video, man, there is no such thing as a gatekeeper. You're the gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
You're the gatekeeper. You know this.
Yeah.
Me and you both know this.
Yeah.
I think I held myself back more than anything that with my career. I can sit here and say, well, I had this opportunity and they didn't call me and this and that. So
right.
You want to know what it is? It's on your shirt.
Yeah.
Show and prove, man.
Yeah.
It was some tough times, and David helped pick me back up and really put me back together. And the fans, man, really wouldn't stop. The fans. That's the one thing about the fans in this genre, man. Like when they know you're suffering and they feel your pain, they're just in your inbox. The real ones are just stay in the inbox, bro, and they're like. And I know 10 knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I ain't come to mess up your
Nah.
interview, bro.
Nah.
But let me come over here for the record, because this is gonna be on the internet. I fuck with him. He's been good to me. So I'm showing love.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my brother right there.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're coming down there. We're about done.
Thank you, 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was a really odd time for me and 10 both after Damn It Boy kind of went way of the wind, man. It was really, we were in limbo for a while. Plus that happened to me. So I got back into it. David helped me drop that song. I got kind of where I was in the headspace to where I was like, no, man, I got to finish what I started. Like I told him, so I started grinding again. And Bobby reached out to me from Redneck Nation. And he's like, hey, man, I'm the guy that was up church and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I heard about you, whatever. He's like, come down to Florida, man. I want to talk to you. So I rode down there. And He's like, look, man, I believe in what you're doing. I want to put some money behind it. Let's do this. You know, what do you want to do? And man, I was just so. I'm a loyal to a fault person, Chad. Like if I tell you I'm gonna do something, and if I gotta piss somebody off to follow through with what I do, I'm sorry. If I make a promise, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's just who I am.
Yeah.
And I promised John Connor whenever I went and got the bag from the label, I come back to him for some production. So I went to John. We made an amazing album that has not yet been released. The fallout with Redneck Nation, it ain't no secret to nobody. I don't care. I'm an open book. It just ain't no secret. The fallout with Church and Redneck Nation happened. I was caught right in the middle of it. We just built a state-of-the-art studio. There's so much more that goes into those stories that the people don't know, and a lot of that stuff that Bobby looked bad for. 10 minutes later, Bobby probably went in there and probably cried and was like, I can't do that. I love that kid. Somebody was very opportunistic with that video and just literally did some evil things and caused drama between them. And it exploded. So I basically was like, I got to go back to Texas. People are starting to threaten me over what they had going on. And I've got a daughter, 2 daughters, wife, grandkids, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, look, Bobby, I got to go to Texas. You know, this stuff's getting crazy. I went to Texas and took all the studio stuff with me because we were working on projects. And Bobby picked up, or Laura called me and was like, hey, we're going a different route. We're going to do Christian music. No, we love you. Keep the mic, keep the stuff. Just keep pushing forward. So it wasn't like a big ugly breakup. You know what I mean? I think that Bobby and Laura did what they did because they didn't want my sink to ship to sink. Yeah, I did that, didn't I?
Yeah.
You don't have to edit that out. I do that quite often.
Oh no, I do. Yeah.
You know, I think that that's kind of what it was with Bobby. I think that he realized that it was going to hinder me and Kelso and some of the other people, Jericho, that were there at Battleground and Redneck Nation. And so it was done. The rise and fall of another one that really helped get some of this stuff going. And so I kind of just wandered around for a while, bro. You know, and I really got into this the mental health stuff because of what happened with my son. It's what I told you I really wanted to touch on, and this interview's running a little bit longer than normal, but Chad's being cool about it because he knew I had to get some stuff off my chest, and these people need to hear this. There's a lot of division, not only in country rap, but in the world. There's this huge stigma that, you know, when somebody's down, let's kick them. You know, let's jump on them. Oh, he's not human. He can't make a mistake. Shun him. You know, and men don't cry. Walk it off. There's all these things that just, the older I get, man, I was a bouncer for a while, bro. I've had my ass kicked ass. You know what I mean? I'm a big guy and know a little MMA and stuff, but I'm gonna tell you something. Sorry about my Yoda text messages. You know, I lost my train of thought, Chad.
You was talking about mental health and
mental health. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Mental health. It was 3-1 when my son 5 years ago took his life. It was 3 men to every woman. That's a stereotype. People think that it's women that are doing it. No. Now it's 5-1. Every 7 seconds in the world, a man takes his life.
Yeah.
People want to talk about problems and, oh, who said this and who said that? And my thing's bigger than yours and I can outpiss you and all this and that. And meantime, our young men are out here just dropping like flies, our veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And I just refuse to let that go to the wayside, Chad. You know what I mean? Like I love my music and I'm going to keep pushing this. This is a beautiful thing. And I'm gonna jump off of that. I'm gonna say, hashtag you are not alone. I have all kinds of stuff set up. I am available on my social media platforms 24 hours a day. I do not put my stuff on silent. I keep my ringer on loud as hell. My wife can't stand it because I've had so many people in the country rap world reach out to me in their time of need, and nothing makes me feel like I am repairing some damage than helping those men that are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, quit being tough guys. If you got something going on that's bothering you and you're thinking about it, somebody out here loves you.
Yeah.
Somebody out here loves you. Y'all check in on your loved ones and your guys and your family and your veterans, and you see somebody acting off, say something. Don't let it slide and say, oh, they're just having a bad day. That one bad day turns into one bad decision and then it's done. And you can't take it back.
Right.
Hashtag you're not alone.
And we'll put all your links in the description too, so people know where to contact you, like if they need to talk to you and stuff like that.
So on to the happy stuff.
Yeah.
On to the happy stuff. Man, I'm not going to sit here and say the same thing that everybody else did because it's obvious how historic this is, Chatty.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't anybody that's hating on this. Y'all are wild. I don't understand it. For you people out there that want to think that it's anything other than an open invitation, there's kids down there right now that I guarantee you they have under 1,000 followers that are fixing to be on a track. So anybody that's saying that this is anything other than what it is, you're wrong. I'll be the first person to tell you you're wrong. This is one word. This is unity. This is what happens when a big hard ass, a manly man like Adam Calhoun, steps up and does something like this, and unites this stuff and brings us all together. It's just such a beautiful thing and such a gift to not only me to help revive something that I had lost, because I was getting discouraged just because of how stupid a lot of this stuff had get, like all this little bickering and this and that. And the toughest guy out of the tough guys stepped up and said, Broadneck's brought this up. As I'm correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe
Broadneck's came up with the idea, interjected the idea. But Adam really, I think he's gonna wear just as much of the face as Broadneck's and Demon both. And I'm not going to give any single one of them more flowers than the other.
Right.
I just have this to say about Adam because I see a lot of myself, or I see him and me, and the me and him both struggle with anxiety and all these things. But to see this man welcome this many people into his fan base, everybody else can talk, but they are showing improving.
Yeah.
Chad.
Facts. It's facts, man.
Shout
out Adam.
So,
shout out Broadneck's Demon.
Shout out to you three guys. When you watch this, just know you're big Texas homie. I have literally been here almost every single night. I stopped doing at least show some love. I've been down here working with a lot of these artists that they're up here because the studio is so busy and there's just so many. Only so many people can be on a mic. There's only so many hours in a day. So I brought my studio equipment up. I hooked up with Johnny Knight. We got to work again. Me and Charlie Farley dropped something. Me and you got some stuff cooking.
Yep.
So it reignited a lot of unity, and not just this, but other people are like, No, man, that's the way it should be. Everybody's waking up and realizing like the fans are happy.
Yeah.
Newsflash, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, let's run it, man. Y'all support this. Support my guy behind the camera, man. Gray-headed goat. Volume 4 drops
January 10th.
January 10th, the day before my birthday. I better get a copy for my birthday, bro.
I got you, bro. I got you.
I mess with this dude right here. I salute him as well. Y'all go out. This dude, you know, there's three people in this music business that I say that just absolutely work themselves into the ground. And I'm gonna put you with somebody right now that Dax, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He never stops. I don't know when he sleeps. I don't know when he eats.
Yeah.
And that's you, bro. Volume 465, Gray-Headed Goat, coming 2025. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, bro.
I appreciate the
on one of
work.
them next year, bro. You're gonna be on one of them next year.
I hope so, bro.
Sure,
I'm more than well. You know, I'm trying to mess with you.
Yeah,
the long way. We've been communicating for a while and trying to make this happen. And I was like actually going to divert here before Florida when I was traveling down there to Redneck Nation and stuff. And we just never could.
Right.
Just too much happened. But you know, I guess a lot of people never just end the interview, but I want to end the interview on this, man, that it's love. Mm-hmm. You know, I think it's love. And it's hard for men to admit sometimes. I love my old lady, and any man will admit that, but to love another dude or love the genre or love the people that are in this thing, I have love for all y'all. Even the ones of y'all that pissed me off and done did me dirty as hell, I still pray for you. Mm-hmm. Your the little keyboard warriors on social media, man, stop. It's not worth it. Let's just all move forward. Let's all just make good music and keep these fans happy and show them what country rap is really capable of. Let's quit talking. Let's show them proof.
Shout out Mic Manik, dude. Y'all be sure to go subscribe to him and go follow him on all of his socials. And appreciate you, bro. We're going to get back down there and get to networking. Boom. Fix your face,
baby. We out.